If you want to relocate abroad to work and you want to go with your family, then you may want to consider going to Ireland. Ireland has a special visa for skilled workers to move to the country to work without needing a company to sponsor their visa. On this visa, you can sponsor yourself, so you don't need a company to sponsor you, and you can migrate with your family. This visa is valid for 2 years, and at the end of these 2 years, you would get permanent residency. So only after 2 years of living in Ireland on this visa, you can settle permanently in the country. And you don't need to be attached to any company to get this permanent residency. So if you would like to know more about this visa, then watch this video to the end, because I'll be showing you everything you need to know: who is eligible to apply, how long it's going to take to apply, everything you need to know about this visa and how to go about it. You will find out in this video. Just in case you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Jackie and you're welcome to my channel. I hope you will like it here. On this channel, you'll find relevant information that will help you to relocate abroad, to work, to study, and to live. I have many videos on my channel right now about how you can move to Australia, to Luxembourg, to the Netherlands, to the UK, to Sweden, to Portugal, so many countries. So you may want to check it out. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Wondering which country is Ireland? Well, let me tell you a little bit about this country. The Republic of Ireland occupies most of the island of Ireland off the coast of England and Wales. The capital of the Republic of Ireland is Dublin. It is the birthplace of writers like Oscar Wilde and is the home of Guinness beer. And in case you're wondering, the language spoken in Ireland is English. And it has a population of about 7 million people as at 2022. Living in Ireland is truly an amazing experience, and Ireland is a great place to settle down. Many tourists fall in love with the country on their first trip and end up moving there. There are many reasons why you should move to Ireland, so many benefits of living in the country, and top among them is the health and education. There is top quality healthcare in the country and world-class education. All Irish higher institutions are ranked in the top 5% globally. They have a welcoming atmosphere to international students and have a long history of acclaimed graduates. Ireland is the only English-speaking country in the Eurozone. The country is safe with very low crime rates and has welcoming communities. The country has lots of tourist attractions and vibrant international cities, and it also has beautiful countryside as well. So you really should consider moving to Ireland. It's a very good place for expats to settle. So let's get right into the visa. This video is about the Critical Skills Employment Permit. The Critical Skills Employment Permit is designed to attract highly skilled people into the labor market with the aim of encouraging them to take up permanent residence in the country. They have select occupations that are eligible to apply for this visa, and I'll be telling you about it in a minute. The occupations under this permit are deemed to be critically important to the growth of the country's economy and are highly demanded and highly skilled, and in significant shortage of supply in the labor market. It will interest you to know that the occupations on this list are not just IT or tech related. These occupations cut across different industries. There is nursing, there is teaching on that list. I'll tell you more about it as we go. This Critical Skills Employment Permit is so attractive for many reasons, and I'm going to be telling you the benefits of being on this work permit. Because the skills are identified as being in short supply, a labor market needs test is not required. The labor market needs test is basically when a company wants to hire, they need to first search for those talents within the country, and when these talents are not found within the country, they can now look to other countries in the EU before they can look to the rest of the world. But in the case of this Critical Skills Employment Permit, that is not necessary. The company can hire from overseas without having to look for those talents within the country. The second attractive thing about this permit is that the permit holders can apply for family reunification immediately. So as you're moving to Ireland, you're going with your family immediately. You don't have to go first and then apply for your family to join you later, but you can all go at the same time. And another attractive thing about this permit is that the holder can apply for permanent residency without having to be sponsored by a company. So you don't need to be employed by any company to apply for residency. You don't need a sponsor. That's what it means. So at the end of the 2 years of this work permit, you can go ahead and apply for permanent residency without being employed in any company. So what are the eligibility criteria for this permit? 1. You must hold an employment contract from a company in Ireland, and this contract must be a minimum of 2 years. What distinguishes this critical skills employment permit from the general work permit is that you don't need a company to sponsor your visa. The only thing you need from a company is the contract of employment. Unlike other work permits where you need a licensed company to sponsor your visa, in this case, you don't need a company that has license to sponsor. All you need is an employment contract from a company that is valid for 2 years. So while you're looking for jobs, you're not limited to only those that have visa sponsorship in their job ad. As a matter of fact, during the recruitment process, you should point out to these companies that you do not need visa sponsorship. You stand a better chance of them hiring you. The reason is because some companies shy away from sponsorship because it is a lot of financial burden on them, and also the process could be a bit too much for them. So you stand a better chance of getting a job when you tell them you don't need sponsorship. It is very easy to sponsor yourself on this visa. While the job offer must be of 2 years duration, you're not bound to stay with this company for the entire 2 years. You're expected to stay with this company for at least 12 months, and after that you can seek employment in another company. That is allowed on this work permit. The second eligibility criteria is that this company must be paying you a minimum of 32,000 euros annually. Remember, your occupation must be listed in the critical occupations list, and you must have the relevant degree qualification for this occupation. So in this case, skills and work experience is not enough, but you must have a degree qualification for the occupation that you're seeking. So it's not an occupation you just stumble upon during your career. You must be a degree holder in this occupation. If you're a nurse or a midwife, you'll be expected to have a 3rd level degree or a diploma in Ireland for you to be able to practice in the country. So you can't practice nursing in Ireland with the training from your country. Another criteria is that this company that employs you must have at least 50% of its employees from the European Economic Area. If at least 50% of the employees in this company are not nationals of the European Economic Area, this permit will not be granted. But if it's a startup company that is below 2 years, then this criteria will be waived. In your application, you need to have the following details clearly spelled out on your application form. 1 is a full description of your employment. 2 is the starting date of this employment. 3, you must state your annual salary without bonuses. And 4, you must have information about the required qualification, the skills and experience that is needed for the employment. So let's look at the remuneration criteria. In order to achieve the minimum remuneration threshold of 32,000 euros for a critical skills employment permit, the following components are deemed to be remuneration. 1. Basic salary to achieve at least national minimum wage. And 2. Health insurance payments. So let's look at the application process. You must send in your application at least 12 weeks before your proposed resumption date. The documents you'll be needing to apply for this visa are your international passport, and you will need 2 passport-sized photographs, and of course your employment contracts. You will also be needing police clearance, and of course you need to fill the application form. There are up to 3 stages in the application process. The first one is application received, awaiting processing. Once you've submitted your application and paid the fees, your application will be put in the processing pool. How soon your application will be treated depends on your employer type. There are 2 employer types, the trusted partner and the standard partner. The trusted partner will be given priority. You can track the progress of your application online. And now the second stage is the processing. After you submitted your application, a decision maker will review it. They may request additional information from you, and you need to ensure that you give in this additional information within 28 days. The processor will either grant your permit or refuse it. Now, if it's been refused, that now leads you to the 3rd stage, which is review. If your application has been denied, you can apply for a review, and you must send in this application within 28 days. When you request a review, a different officer is going to be reviewing your application, and this time a more senior officer than the first one. Again, this review can either be granted or denied. But if your review is denied, that is not the end of the road for you. You can send in a fresh application. And now let's talk about the fees. The visa fees for this permit is 1,000 euros. And if your permit is denied, 90% of these fees will be refunded to you. So if you're denied, you'll be getting a refund of 900 euros. And if your permit was successful, you now go on to the residency stage. You'll be going through 3 applications. The first one is your employment permit. Now, this one gives you the right to work in the country. But for you to gain entry into the country, you need a visa. So you need to apply for a visa to go to the country. An online visa application form may be found at inis.gov.ie, inis.gov.ie. Contact details of Irish embassies and consulates and the list of visa required countries may be found on the Department of Foreign Affairs website, that is dfa.ie. So after you receive your employment permit, you now apply for a visa to travel to the country. And when you've gotten your visa, you can now travel to the country, and when you arrive the country, there is a 3rd stage of application. The employment permit does not give you the right to live in the country. You need to apply for a residency permit, and this will be applied for when you arrive the country. So immediately you arrive the country, you need to apply for this. You have a deadline of about 3 months to get this residency permit, so you need to apply for it immediately you touch down in the country. So let's talk about renewals. Remember, the employment permit is valid for 2 years. And at the end of these 2 years, you'll be issued a stamp 4, which is equivalent to a permanent residency. So after only 2 years of living in the country, you apply for permanent residency. This will allow you to stay indefinitely in the country. Remember, you'll be given a contract of 2 years. Now, you're not bound to that company for the entire 2 years. After 12 months with the company, you're free to change employer. So now let's look at the critical occupations list. I'll be leaving a link to this list in the description box so you can go through it to find out if your occupation is on the list. Let me just give you an idea of the occupations on this list. There's production managers and directors, there's site manager, there's ICT professionals, there's information technology and telecommunications directors, there is health and social services managers and directors, there's senior health services and public health managers and directors, natural and social science professionals, chemical scientists, medical laboratory scientists, biological scientists, physical scientists, engineering professionals, a whole lot of engineers, civil engineering, mechanical, structural, electrical engineers, electronics engineers, so many of them. There's also IT business analysts, architects and systems designers. There is programmers and software development professionals, web design and development professionals. Health professionals are here as well. Medical practitioners, psychologists, radiographers. The list goes on and on. We also have nursing and midwifery professionals, registered nurses, registered midwives, teachers and educational professionals are on the list as well. And we also have business, research and administrative professionals. We have a whole lot of them on the list, so you may want to check out the list in the description box. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and share it to other people so they could take advantage of the opportunity. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. I will see you in my next video.